Hello everybody and welcome back. I am Titan9 and thank you for joining us for another meta meditation. If this is your first time watching one of these videos, we basically take a deck, talk about it, why some of the choices are made, some things to consider when playing it, and then we do a best of 3 matchup against another deck and see how it's performing after that. I'm still working on, or I guess practicing with, getting reps with the next deck I'm planning to do, but in the meantime, I got a comment about wanting to see 1 Year War play against Academy Aggro, so that's what we're going to do today. Academy Aggro, I've noticed, is on the rise in a lot of local stores. A lot of Gundam fans seem to have come into the franchise thanks to Witch from Mercury, so people want to make that deck work, and I've been tinkering with it too, but we'll talk about that when we get there. So, 1 Year War, I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. There's not too much to discuss. The goal is to go fast. All the other decks have really good top end, and we just want to get underneath it. And the people who help us do that, Char, Amuro. Amuro taps down blockers. Char gives his link units high mobility. What are the units that he links to? Why, these 3 right here. Gelgoog, a good end game, for us, for the aggro deck. Endgame boss, it lets you, it does cost 4 to play on turn 4, but you can discard one of these little cards that have served their purpose by the time you get to turn 4, get Char, and you swing right away. That can be pretty good. You can usually find one of those by letting this die a turn earlier. So you rush with this on turn, you rush with one of these Zaku 2s, I guess ideally this one, as I was just explaining. You rush with this one, turn 3, with the Char, they kill it on the following turn when they get to go, and then you get to look at the top 3 cards and take a Zeon unit, and then you'll discard that for when you play Gelgoog on the following turn. Pretty nice sequence of events. Cheap cost Zaku's here, the Zaku EX base burster right here. Adopt to kind of help you smooth out your draws, which is something we are kind of at the mercy of our top deck, being an aggro build, so any consistency we can kind of add with this is helpful. Only 3 of these. I want my curve lower in 1 Year Rush, but for people playing 4, I get it. Extra pingers, this can be good in following up aggro matchups, but a lot of times too, you'll do 3 into a Lefrith, and this lets you finish it off. And this gives you high maneuver as well, if you link it with your Amuro, so that's another way to kind of get in a sneaky point of damage. Corsica base over foul mail, because pingers are still everywhere, particularly this one, as you can see, in the mirror match, and red-blue, obviously. So Corsica works a little better than that, and then when you get to play the second one, you get 2 units versus that one, and all of these tokens come in untapped. So very helpful here. 1 overflowing, one show of resolve, the blue one, not the white one. I am usually allergic to this card in aggro decks, but I'm giving it its fair shot here in this build. If I didn't have it, maybe another siege ploy, as this one has been kind of helpful in occasions, or probably another Zaku 2, just to maximize my charge. Just anything that can have high maneuver is really good in an aggro deck. Blue-white blockers is back on the rise again, now that green-white and red-blue are having a tough time against aggro. That lets blockers be able to fine-tune a lot more against the aggro decks. So let's look at our matchup today. There's a lot of different versions of this deck. I really like the aerial rebuild card. I was trying it in blue-white for a bit, and that was working well there to outvalue in the mirror, but then the unicorn version started coming out, and it was less good there. But I wanted to find a home for it, so I kind of put it in this aggro-ish version of the deck, and then this gives us a little bit of top game, because without it, I'm noticing, and then also talking with other players, they're noticing it too, you run out of steam pretty quickly. So this lets you get a lot of value out of your commands. And I want these command pilots that help me tempo out my opponent or make favorable trades with my opponent, but they also work a lot of Academy trait. You know, this one specifically needs her. I've been debating going up on a third one there, but uncertain. Academy trait, plus it works well with all of our commands. Academy trait. I try to limit the ones that need Suletta specifically, which should just be her. Just so, again, all of these can be useful. And then if I have to trade, I can get them back for here. Or if I draw one of these late game and need a pilot to rush it to get like a crucial point of damage in or a last point of damage, I can get him back and use him as a pilot. So I like the flexibility there. Elon, because the 2-1 is nice, though having an extra one of these might be better. So I'm trying to consider that. Overflowing Affection. I could also go down on one of these to have another one of her. This is the base I'm choosing to play because we are going to have a lot of Academy units. So, because, you know, they, other than this Razel, they all are. So we'll be able to kind of give the -1 AP, and that'll help us make good trades as well. Minus AP here, minus AP here. The Demi Garrison, I wish we could have the full 4. Maybe I'll go down to one of these, but I just wanted to make sure we could link efficiently and go and attack. We have other things we can do with the 1-cost thing. We have a lot of tricks we can do. So the curve has been okay enough. This we don't get as early as I'd like it to be a 4-4, so maybe this could become a 3. Something to consider, but there is no sort of stock or close to stock list of this. This is what I'm trying for the purposes of this video. So, without much further ado, let's dive in to the matchup. So, a bit of a slow-ish hand here. If we were on the draw, I guess that doesn't, that's old Magic term for me, sorry. If we were going second, like we play this on our turn 1, play this on our turn 2, and we're off to the races. We do have the ability to rush, but like this we can't do till turn 4 anyway. They have a little bit, they're going to have bigger units than us more quickly, and they're going to have those minus AP things. I think it's best to mulligan here. If you kept it though, you know, I don't fault you. I think we have better hands though. Yeah, this isn't terrible. We obviously don't have those link units, but at least we can play DOP on turn 1 and worst case turn 2. Well, it's not turning out great, but we can smooth out our draws now. And try to find some cheap units for next turn. Yeah, so we'll keep that one on there. Sometimes I accidentally click that one wrong because it's kind of worded weirdly. So do you want to put it on the bottom of your deck? So now we can play 2 units next turn. That's what we want to do. So let's play this one first just to get it out of the way. Well, we don't need another one of those. Although, we can guarantee we're playing 2 more units next turn. You know what? Let's keep it, actually. Not on the bottom. Just making sure I don't play it wrong. We're going to swarm the board. It's not a bad place to go. And we're going to maximize our resources. I love doing that. And we'll end the turn. If we can find a char, it would definitely pair well with this. They don't have any blockers in this build, so we don't have to save this specifically. Uh-oh. How does that have... Oh, because he put the pilot on it. Okay. So this is going to be able to trade with whatever. So you got the rush off there, which is why you play that. I think we will hold off on this because we get value when this is paired and we don't here. So, and they're tapped out, so there's no reason to like hold back. All right, and let's see what we've got coming. I guess I should have played the DOP first because if there was an Amuro on top, we would have changed the order that we played these things. This is not ideal in this matchup. We're not looking to trade with them. So we're going to put that one on the bottom, the Siege Ploy. I'm trying to enunciate trying to explain the cards more clearly for my people listening more than watching. Yes, we'll put it on the bottom of the deck. And now we just swing out. We've got this nice 2-2 to finish off the base there. And like if they want to trade with this Michaelis, you know, whatever. They're taking out 1 unit. If they have another rush unit next turn, which is very possible with this Academy deck, to take out 2 units, but we've played 2 units this turn, so it's kind of a net gain for us. Oh, no, the base. Well, that will hurt. Probably... it depends on what we draw. If I draw a 2-cost thing, I'll go Char and that. If we draw a 1-cost thing, I don't... Bouncing the... I guess they wanted to bounce the G-Fighter, so I couldn't break the base in 2 attacks, but they could have just traded with the Zaku 2 to make sure that couldn't happen, because if they bounce this and I draw Amuro, I'm going to get to attack with it next turn anyway. Okay, so we did draw a 1-cost thing. That's great, because now we will play our Corsica base. We could have theoretically played the G-Fighter and the Charazaku 2, but we'll see if we can draw a pilot to speed those out. We're not going to get to crack this base this turn, which is unfortunate, so I might just not even attack. The base is going to slow them down. And we just don't want to give them any juicy targets. They're only going to have 4 next turns, though they're still away from their A game. The one thing we might have to worry about is the unforeseen incident, making our tall geese have a harder time getting rid of this base. Worst case scenario, then, we probably might not attack. I guess, like, I'm at 5 units now, so I'm actually kind of clogged. Like, I would only be able to play 1 unit anyway, because I'm not going to attack into their units and just lose one for the sake of doing damage to theirs, so maybe holding back isn't the play, just because my hand is so flush with units. Like, I can replace anything that they kill next turn, and it's slowing them down from attacking my game plan, if that's the way they want to go. Alright, I've talked myself into it, let's attack the base, and then Adopt can pick it off next turn anyway. But that unforeseen incident is real. You could say Titan 9, you wait next turn, you attack with Tall Geese and Adopt, and then your other 3 units get to go finish off their shields, and you could rush for the win here. Maybe I am playing scared trying to play around unforeseen incident, but they have the better mid-game than we do, so I don't really want to give them extra time. But if you wanted to hold back, that, I think, would be a perfectly reasonable play as well. But I think for them, yeah, I think they want to come after my crappy little units. That doesn't bother me too much. Yeah, see, look, you can see this base already putting its work in. They can get rid of a chunkier unit, but I'm totally fine having the stop still. Interesting, they played the pilot afterwards. That's why they wanted to keep it. Yeah, this is why I only run 3 Gelgoogs or Char's Gelgoog specifically, in this deck. I just don't want to see them too often. We did, which is a little unfortunate, but not the end of the world. So we lost 2 units, but we're going to get to play 3 more this turn. So we are still netting. I'm going to attack with my Tall Geese last in case there's another base. There is not. Let's find out if there's one this turn. It's not the end of the world if there is, because we're going to have our 3 power units coming into the field. They've got another Elan ready to go, so Charazaku 2. G-Fighter, we'll give it high maneuver, but whatever. And a Zaku 1. So we still got to have our full board here. We got value out of those other units to a degree. They're going to trade now. It's going to get to repair 1, quote-unquote, with the Elan ability. Smartly trade... Oh, see, the unforeseen incident. There it was. They didn't have to wait to do that, because the DOP obviously only has the 1 HP. Or is it... Yeah. Is that what it is? HP? Returning the DOP is an odd... Oh, they had to return it. That's why. Interesting. Oh, yeah, because they can't trade any of my units. So, look, we're still in really good position here to just win straight out next turn. Even if they have a base, obviously we couldn't. But we got the Char anyway, so we can rush Gelgoog them. Pretty easy here. So, yeah, they just got choked on pilots in here, but they were going to be able to rush out any unit, right? This was the deck. Like, other than the Razel, which can't rush, they were able to rush out every unit that they played. They were going to get to do it the next 2 turns for sure. And they could get back that unforeseen incident or show up the resolve if they were feeling it. Overflow, you know, they had some options here. Specifically, the question with this matchup was somebody was annoyed that their opponent kept spamming and reusing unforeseen incident. Perhaps that player's opponent often have 4 in their list, and this list is only running 2, but I did try to play around unforeseen incident there, and our game plan is not to trade with them. So if they want to use it and kill our units, that's fine. We're just going to keep attacking them. And that way we don't get to their better mid-game where they can, as you see, rush a gazillion pilots. But part of why we did that was our curve in our hand was so low, we were able to play 2 or 3 units every turn of the game. And that let us keep up the aggression despite losing some of our card advantage to their good trades. Like the Mikolas and the Razel did get to trade with quite a few of our units, but we had so many we could just poop out. It didn't matter. All right, let's go to game 2. Bad hand. Look, I got my show resolve in hand here. I think people really remember the times show of resolves gets them out of a jam. And I get that. That's a good feeling. But I think they don't remember how many times something like this happens, or how many times you draw it in the first 2 turns, or how many times the reason why you're dying is you're getting out aggroed by your opponent on turn 4. Or on turn 4, they've played 1 blocker into 2 blockers, and you're in a jam there. So I get why you want to have a backup plan, a contingency plan, if your game goes long. But in my mind, I'm playing according to the deck's game plan, which is go fast. I'm okay that if we go to turn 7, that I'm unlikely to win. Especially in this deck, but also in this deck, having that high maneuver ability from both of your pilots, or the tap down ability from both your pilots, is a good way to sneak in those last points of damage. Quite frankly, and this is going to sound a little harsh, I think a lot of people like Show Resolve aren't the strongest aggro players, so they need this to make up for a lack of skill. There are ways to do just fine in a longer matchup. If it looks like the game's going to go long, you can spend turns where you're not attacking. You can hold back, so you can do a big alpha strike on the following turn. Like, there are things you can do to maximize your chances to win in the middle to late game. You just have to kind of start to adjust your game plan accordingly, and then you don't even have to worry about Show of Resolve. So we are going to mulligan here. It probably would have been a mulligan anyway if this were another unit, just because we have 3 non-unit cards, and that's not a great place we want to be. So keep that in mind. Show of Resolve could still be good. It wasn't the reason why we're mulliganing here. A much better hand. Much, much better. See, last game, too, we didn't see any pilots. Some people think that this deck is a little too pilot hungry, but it's just, you just kind of go. You just go, go, go. So we're not going to get to break the base next turn anyway, so I'm just going to lead off on Dop, so I can have better card selection. This Zaku, I think we will keep this. We definitely get to play 2, maybe 3 units the following turn. I think we will play 3, because we're not going to... We know if we keep this on top, we're not getting a linked pilot anyway, so we'll play 3 units, and then on the following turn, we'll play 2 more units, or a unit and a pilot, and all of that is good. Keep this one on top. Do not put on the bottom of your deck. Do not do that. Do not misclick here on wingtable.net. We are playing against an AI. I am on the Patreon, so my AI is better, and I've noticed it getting better the more games that it seems to play. I imagine it's a self-correcting AI, so it is a perfectly good way to test. Okay, we are not going to attack this turn, because our Zaku 2 is going to break that base anyway. Again, we don't have blockers to worry about here, so there's no reason to let this feed into the Guel's Delanza. just for the 1 damage, that won't really matter that much next turn anyway, because the Zaku 2 is going to one-shot it. So 1 unit, 2 units, and 3. We'll use our EX resource here. And then the turn, we're going to attack with 4 units next turn. If we get a pilot, we will attack with just... we will get to attack with 5. I think that might be more valuable than playing multiple units at the same turn. No, my DOP. All right, we're only going to attack with 4. He is likely to kill off our Zaku 2 afterwards, but that's okay. It did its job. Get that 2 AP bonus. Badoom. All right, and let's see if we're going to punch them into any bases. They will kill off 2 units if they want to do that next turn. Maybe all 3 if they find another link unit, which is not unimpossible in this deck. But the good news is, for that reason specifically, we are going to play the 3 1-cost units we have here. And that way, if we find a pilot, either of our pilots... we're going to be able to rush with them on the following turn, and if we're not, we can just play these 2 units instead. So we'll play the DOP. Let's see what we've got coming. Another 2/2. This Charzaku 2, the one from the starter deck, will play instead of the main set one, because that one needs a pilot to get its value, and this one just needs to die to get us the value. We will not put it on the bottom of our deck. We will do 1 damage to the Guel's Delanza. They'll have to put a pilot if they want it to be able to trade and survive next turn, though they'll probably just swing it into one of our 2/2s now anyway. And lastly, this Zaku 1. Alright, so if they don't play a base, we're in really good position. If we don't burst into a base, obviously, we're in a great position. Alright, they're going to kill off our... guy here. Because of the DOP, he's going to be able to use the ability. I say he because Elan is a he. Alright, they did not want to trade our units. I think that is a poor decision. Especially since they did have the rush unit. They should have been trying to kill off all my units and slow me down that way. They need to play the control role. They are not going to be able to race us. Yeah, okay, so the AI knew there was a base in hand. I still think you trade, because you get to play the base anyway. All of your units are going to survive. I don't think that was a great play from the opponent. Alright, we can't rush, unfortunately, so it is going to take a lot of resources to kill this base. We will want to play out 2 2/2s. Or, I guess they're 3 2s. We are kind of hitting a wall here. It was great that we could play all these units, but these multiple Daraball bounces have been tough on us. We've lost out on 2 attacks because of it. So we could have been... yeah, so they would have had no shields left for the follow-up turn. And let's play Chazaku 2. Let's play... that. We'll give it high maneuver, but it won't matter. So they have to trade with us this turn. Even if they get another rush unit, they couldn't play 2. So if they get 1 rush unit, they're only taking out 4 of our shields. It might burst us into a pilot, which is nice. Because then we can I mean, we did play our Amuro 1, which is unfortunate, but... playing the DOP and then letting them bounce it again is not a thing I wanted to be in, and the rush isn't as important because we have so many units. This split of attacks is very odd for the AI to be doing. Alright, the Mikolas comes down. They could rush one of these. Will they? No. Okay, so they just lose. Let us attack with our 1/2 Zaku 1 first. Okay, we do bump into the base, but again, not a problem. Because Charzaku 2 coming in for the 3/2. And then let's finish off with another regular Zaku 2 to finish off that base, and then we win the game here. So here the AI didn't play perfectly. Yeah, they got some big units stuck in their hand. Unfortunate. That can happen with this aggro build. But they actually had a really good hand, and had they played stronger, we'd still keep going. I think because we just kept drawing unit after unit, we would have been able to get around them eventually. I think we're going to play a third game anyway, because I feel like you got cheated out in this matchup, dear viewers. Because the AI should have been trading with our units here. I haven't seen it mess up that much. If we were even on shields, their aggro plan might have been the correct play. But based on the fact that they had 2, I believe, fewer than us when they started going that route, I think that was incorrect. So we will restart the game, give you another game, see if the AI can redeem itself a bit. We get to go second again, which is nice. Look at this. Look, 3 cost cards, 1 Amuro card. Only this is the base buster, but this is bad. Bad hand. If this were a unit, another kind of 1 cost unit, or even if it were one of the 3/2s, probably not. I guess it's not the end of the world. We play this Zaku 2 on turn 1. Then we could play a Corsica base on turn 2, draw an extra card. Theoretically, the Show of Resolve is a cheaper unit that we could play on the turn after with another Corsica base if need be to get 2 1/1s. Alright, I might consider keeping this hand, especially in a no blockers matchup, so I know this Zaku 2 is bursting that EX base. I think I would consider if this were not a Show of Resolve. So here, I put it in the negative column, the Show of Resolve. We will take a mulligan. Amuro is not the most exciting pilot to have in your opening hand either, because you have less link units than you do with Char. Oh look, the Show of Resolve showed up again. Is the AI messing with me? We did get the Zaku 2, which I'm a fan of. And okay, if we drew another lower cost unit, I would consider playing both of the Zaku 2s, the base bursting one and the regular one, on this turn. But since we didn't, and I want to try to play this Char Zaku on the following turn, I'm going to just play the 1 base burster. If we draw another low-cost unit next turn, I will play 2 of those and not waste my EX resource. So this one's great. The Demi-Trainer won't... If it wants to come in with a Zaku 2, at least it will die as well. Sometimes they have their 2/2s, and then they get kind of free value off of that. The EX base is bursted, so I don't mind it. So we did draw another 1 cost unit, so I am going to play the 2 units. I'm going to spam board. They can't Darabald any of these, so that is nice as well. They are just trying to race us. That was a miss... Oh no, they're discarding that. Okay. I thought they had played that, and that was a bad time to do it. And the beginning of Wing Table, the AI used to kind of foolishly use command cards. Ooh, the bouncing is interesting. Yes, that way I can't burst their base next turn and get a hit on their shields. I like that play. But they don't know that I'm just going to rush anyway. I think now, we're not obviously a resource-heavy deck, so I think turn 4, which is our turn 3, level 4 is a perfectly fine time to do it. So Zaku 2 here, Char Zaku 2 with the bonus +1 for attacking. Char is such a crazy level 3 pilot. It has 1/1 like the other level 3 pilots, but it gets 2 bonuses. It gets an attack AP bonus, and it gets high maneuver, where the other ones usually just get 1 thing. Insane card. And it's in starter decks. Love it. Good work, Bandai. MTG starter decks were always so uninspiring. So I love that the starter decks here are viable and good value when the supply chain isn't short. Alright, let's keep spamming board. Zaku 2 comes in again. And still, nothing can be Darabald, if they want to trade with my Zaku 2, as indeed... Oh, no! No, that still didn't work. That was a poor use of that card. I think I will... So if I draw an Amuro, I can rush with this. And I'm more likely to... with the Gundam, the starter deck Gundam. And I'm more likely to see Amuro than a Char Aznable for his Zaku 2 here. So I think I will do that, just to play the math. Oh, no, wait. Silly me. I don't have that option anyway. I don't know why but, like, there's a train of thought, right? You want to think of the math here. Oh, that's why they wanted to use it. I think if that were the case, now, because you need to get rid of that Char Zaku. It's going to kill anything they play. It's going to kill any base if I burst into one of those. Oh, no, they should have just used that. Yeah, if they really... The covert operative to do the bounce, if they really wanted to get rid of a thing, that would have been... If they really wanted to get the Michaelis at a 4/4, that would have been the play. Use the covert operation, save the unforeseen incident for a future time to get better trades. The opponent is definitely doing the right thing now, trading with my little units. Look at how much it's slowing down the game. So I think that's pretty great. I am not going to play the Corsica base. I was thinking I'll play DOP and let that help me decide if I want to play the Corsica base, but I think it's actually just better to play my 3 units. There is a consideration, because we know the Char is in the trash, to not playing all of my units out. So to ensure that I have one in hand for when I Char Gelgoog for the win. Okay, let's attack first. If we burst a base, that will affect our choices as well. They should be unforeseeing incidenting on this Zaku 2. So I will not attack with it to represent that I wasn't able to do any damage with it. In that case, then, I'm just going to play out my 3 units. We can see if this DOP is going to find us a Zaku unit. It does find us a Char, though, and we'll have 5 resources, so we don't have to get greedy. I will leave that on top. They will not be able to attack the 3 units we play out this turn, so I don't have to... We're still going to have a full board, or not a full, but a heavy board. No, we'll keep that on top. We play Zaku 2, and we play Char Zaku 2. Okay, we will end there. So that unforeseen incident slowing us down. That one got bursted, though, so I guess they didn't have that choice. Alright, so theoretically, they would have killed this Zaku 2, the one that gets bigger when it attacks. That won't matter in this board state. Oh, no, I guess it wouldn't have mattered, right? Because if they give this one -3, I'm not attacking with it anyway. So this does mirror the way the board state should be, regardless. Okay, so if we burst into a base, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Well, I guess it would matter. Because, all right, here's what we do. We attack with the DOP. No base. Then we attack with our Zaku 2. And if it is a base, now we can't kill them this turn. But we can because we knew this Char was on top. We seen how the math worked there, people? There's also a chance there's just no base in there, but you want to try to play around that as the aggro deck, right? This is when you won't need Show of Resolve. Like, even now, I wish this Show of Resolve weren't a Show of Resolve. Like, I wish this were a unit that I could have played earlier, or it's not, like, I'm on turn 5. Like, I don't want to spend 3 mana, 3 resources to find 2 cards, because none of those cards were going to help me anyway. Right? If I find a pilot in a unit I could rush, should I not have had the Gelgoog? Like, that 2 resources is not enough to do that. And if I'm looking for a unit to put with this Gelgoog, I won't be able to play the Gelgoog. Now, the DOP came in handy because I could see what I was drawing next turn. But if this were, say, the Zaku 1, I probably would have kept the Zaku 1 in hand specifically to Gelgoog. Now, we still might not have killed them that turn because I'd have one less unit on the base, on the board. No, we would have been fine because the Gelgoog would one-shot whatever base is there anyway. So we still would have been fine, right? Let's say we don't have this DOP. We attack with that 2-2. If that's a base, we Gelgoog, and then one of these two finish it off. If the bottom one's the base, then we still play that Gelgoog and finish them off. We just have one less unit because we needed 2 units to attack their 2 shields. See? Do you see how the math's working out here? We didn't need the Show of Resolve. All right, we shall attack with this Zaku 2, the boring vanilla one. So there is a base here, right? There is a base here. So by keeping the Zaku 2 in hand, just in case, we are able to do the thing we need to do, which is run over their base with one shot, and now we can kill them. Dealer's choice here. I'll do it with the Zaku 2. MVP. They died with their own Show of Resolves in hand. Are you seeing the proper play order here? Are you seeing the good sequencing? Are you seeing the good way to counteract your opponent's game plan and to play around their game plan? It's just about putting units on the board. And the Show of Resolve theoretically help you do that by drawing potentially 2 low-cost units? Yes. But on what turn are they doing that? Here on turn 5? Well, we just killed them on turn 5. And it might have been easier to do if Show of Resolve were a different unit. I don't think it mattered in this game based on how efficiently we were using our resources, but keep that in mind. So for the commenter who was asking about Unforeseen Incident, unfortunately we didn't see it that much this game. It did slow us down by an attack because we burst into this. If your opponents are playing more of it, that's just less units that they're using to counterattack you. So it eats up some of their plans. So just focus on sequencing. Focus on flooding the board, right? The hands we got rid of, which we mulliganed actually in all 3 games. We wouldn't have in this game had that Show of Resolve been something else. But when you're flooding, if you just keep flooding the board, it doesn't matter what their commands are doing. Their units are a little more expensive. Sure, they can rush with them, but if you have the hand that floods, you're always replacing and sometimes net positiving the amount of units that they're killing, and then they're not counteracting their own game plan. And if they are able to keep up with you, that probably is a game Show of Resolve's not bailing you out of anyway. All right? I hope this is all making sense. If you still don't agree with me, you can feel free to leave a comment down in the section telling me that I'm wrong. I'll appreciate the engagement. It helps with the algorithm. If there are other matchups with this deck that you want to see, let me know. If there are other matchups just in general with other decks, let me know. I am planning a specific deck that I've been testing with at the weeklies and online over the last week. So that's definitely going to be the next video in 2 or 3 days, but definitely help me fill up the queue and let me know what you want to think. You can message me on Discord. You can leave a comment in the YouTube. I check both of those. And other than that, wish you well in your weeklies and in your online play.